Uh, a big thanks to Testing Sastra, sorry, for hosting and arranging this webinar and helping the community. Really thankful and welcome all on this webinar. Thank you all for joining on this evening, Sunday evening. I hope you all are safe and doing great at this time. So without any delay, let's start the session. So I'm not sure how many of you are using it and how many of you are aware. So I will take I will try to explain all the features in details and everything, what all questions you guys will be having. I will try to answer all of them, and if any feedback or anything, I will be taking that for sure. And okay, currently COVID-19 is running out across the globe and everybody is suffering from that. So we all are having this tough situation right now, right? So see if we would be able to find out from this crowd, if we get some device or something that so many people are running around the globe, and these are the people who are affected from COVID-19. If we get some kind of device or some magic, okay, these are the 10 people to pick, inspected people, so these are the people we can directly pick and identify, then our problem is solved and the whole world will be able to uh, won this situation which we are facing, isn't it? But we are not able to still find out any device yet, and we are trying to identify, going to each person and then testing them, and then we are finding them whether that person is positive or negative, which is causing a lot more issues and making everyone getting affected, and not we are not able to come over from this situation. So that's the problem we are facing. So we should be having some kind of device which can easily tell us, and in single go, okay, I have this device, I will just what I will use that device, and immediately by looking at this people, it will identify. We don't have any such device so far, so that's why we are having this problem. Similar situation we are having in our automation world as well. You see that here, let's say let me open any website, CorePath, let's say, for example. So here in the website, let's say if we have to write the locators, suppose these are the people, here so many people: autonomic, products, features, resources, support, contactors, and all these links are, suppose these are the people, and now we have to write a test case where we have to identify only these five, header test case, we have to identify these five people. So if suppose you don't have XPath, how do you if suppose you don't have for now CorePath, so how we will do it? Guys, I'm using dark theme, so maybe you can use any kind of theme. So let's say if you have to write a page object model, and you have to write a locators for all these in a page object model, how we will do it? You will be inspecting this, suppose you are doing a testing for one person, so that's how you will do. You will inspect this element, then you will do Command F here, and then you will write a // something like this, and then text. And you see, when we are typing it here, it is going up and down, and some other thing is showing in the dev tools. And then you will type products, let's say products, PRODUCTS, and many times you see that one of two is still not, it is not one matching node. So this test is not confirmed yet whether we should use it or not. And then you will copy this after making unique. That will again take time. And then you will go to your somewhere editor. Let's say here is your editor, and let's say you have typed this command already, and you will paste it here, right? And suppose you are writing a page object model, then how again you will have to copy this like this. Then again you will go back here, inspect this element. I believe we all are doing this way, and then you will do here features, and then you will copy this, then you will paste it here, like people are doing currently for corona. They are testing one by one, and that's how, if you have to do all for all these elements, that's how you will do, keep one by one. So that's where we have invented something which will solve this problem, and you will not have to type again and again. And you see that every time you will have to type it here as well, like you will give some label name here, like features, and then here's something else if we have written, then that thing you will be editing here. So a lot of editing and time waste is there. Let ChroPath helps you, and let ChroPath solves all your problem and save a lot more time for you. First, I will show you how to install it. Like many of you are curious if you are doesn't know about it. So just search for ChroPath, hit enter. You will see two links are there. So I always request you open this ChroPath Home Autonomic, or you can directly open Chrome as well. But if you will open home page of ChroPath, there you will see all the latest update and everything about it. So always better to see like what all things are there. So like for Chrome, if you want 6.0, so currently 6.0 is available for Chrome and Edge browser. So let's download this latest version from here. It's absolutely free, and just a single click you can install it. Add extension. It will add in your browser. It will suggest you like restart your browser and watch the video tutorial. So I would request you, like once you add ChroPath in your browser, just restart your browser. And here is the tutorial video. So please follow this video to get to see all the detailed features of ChroPath. Okay, now we have ChroPath. Let me just restart it. Here you will see if you, okay, let me show you one thing. When you will open DevTools like this, how you will find the ChroPath? Right click here in any element, click on inspect, and you will see that elements tab here, and on the right side is style, computed, event listener, DOM, properties. So many things will be there, and you will not be able to see the ChroPath. So don't worry, it is there. Like you click, double click, there are two arrow icons. If you click on them, there will be the ChroPath, the last tab. Or what you do, you just expand it for better view, and you will see the ChroPath is the last tab here in the sidebars. Click on this. As soon as you will click on this, it will be generating all the possible selectors for the inspected element. So here's the inspected element is the products. So you will see all the possible selectors for this element. It is showing you, as well as it is showing you like 1, 2, the occurrences. Okay, we'll come later on this. First, we'll talk about that problem of page object model, how we can save a lot more time and how can we do it like in single go. So now you have click on this button. There is a click to generate automation code, multiple XPath. Click on this. You will see this window here. Instructions are already given here, so you can follow them. Now what we want to generate multiple XPath. You have seen that like we were generating one by one. So what you do, now you inspect this. You see that it is generating the label name and XPath both. And when we were writing this kind of XPath. Let me just make it larger so that it will have better view for you guys. Right, so I hope it is visible to all. So you see that this XPath is generated, which is pretty much unique, and the label name as well, and the here again. Now what you can do, you just click on this copy all. Let me generate few more. Okay, so you can copy all the XPath here, come back to your page object model, and you can paste it, and now you can edit them. But what about this? Again, that editing is required, right? Add, find, by, and these all things you will have to have. No, you will not have to do that as well. ChroPath does everything for you. It will give you the complete page ready. Just copy this. What you have to do here in this command, let's say, for example, this command is there. Someone might have some different kind of command. I will show you how you can use that. Wherever you have typed XPath in your command, just replace that with XPath value. This is just one time effort. Remember, this is just one time effort. Never second time it is not required. Once you have done this setting, it will work forever for you. and then wherever your label has been written, like this is a product is a label, features is a label. Like label is it means like when we write automation in a automation framework, we never use direct XPath in our script in industry. Like normally for basic testing and all, we do rough thing, but when we actually work in industry, we always use a keyword for every XPath. So this is something like keyword, a label value. So replace this with label value. Now just copy this complete thing. Now you see the magic. There is a set driver command to append on all selectors. Just turn on this. Here what you do, you just replace this command, press enter, see the magic. Now you see that all the commands are ready here. Now you copy, you see that at find by XPath is equal to your XPath is appended at cache lookup private web element features about resources and all this ready. You click on this copy all selectors, come back to your editor. Maybe you are using Eclipse or something, IntelliJ, you can just paste there and your page is ready. Something like this. Here is a, let's say this is IntelliJ, you can paste it here and you can add it. Isn't it easy for you? So easy, like your complete page is ready. If you have 100 elements there in the browser which you have to inspect and write, in just like few seconds you can do it. Let me close this and show you how quickly it could be done, because I was showing all the settings and everything. So next time when you will open Crowpath, you see, next time when you will open, I'm using Mac right now, so you must be worrying I'm not doing right click and opening. So what I'm using the keyboard commands to open the DevTools. So it is command plus option plus I to open the DevTools Crowpath. So you can use that. Now you see that you just turn on this recording option and click on this. This command will always save. You see now. You see the magic. Next time when you will open, you will not have to do any kind of setting. You just click and all ready. So for this, imagine for this page how quickly you can write the page object model and how much time you can save. Now you click on copy button, come back to your editor, and you see all your ready, complete page is ready. Imagine if you have to write it manually, like for all these elements, how much time it would have, it will take for you, right? Now you must be thinking like this ID and all, you don't want to generate with ID, you don't want to generate with text something. So there are options. If you uncheck this ID, it will generate the XPath without ID. But make sure like you just uncheck this ID or the attribute options before generating these scripts. So let's say you don't want to generate with ID, you want to generate without ID. Just click on delete all, again inspect these elements. It will generate without ID, XPath without ID. You see that it is generating without ID. You can copy, come back, and this setup, like whatever setting you will do, it will be according to your it will save in the local, like for you. So whenever next time when you will open Crowpath, so it will be saved. So next time you need not to worry, it is just a one time like this command you have to just one time, and you see that next time when you will open Crowpath, ID will be saved in local. So it is ready for you, and it's always. And if you don't want, you anytime you want to use the default setting of Crowpath, there is a reset button. Click on this, it will come with the default. Like let's say you want to write a test case in some interview or something, you are, what you do, how easy it is for you to write a test case. one one of the Crowpath users shared this experience with me, that he was in an interview and somebody asked him that can you write a test case for something like for a login page, and he just did it in few seconds. What he did, he just used Crowpath recorder feature, turn on this command and just copy this, come back to editor, and he gave it to the interviewer. And you see that now whatever method, like let's say you want to click on this, so you can just add that click. You want to clear this something, so you can do that. If you want to use send keys, you can use send keys, and it's go, your script is ready. Isn't it so easy and time saving for you? Yes, hope it will save a lot more time for you, and it can save hours for you. So this is one feature which using which you can save hours for yourself, and you can complete the page locators page within a minute. How to install autonomic ChroPath? I showed you, like, it's very simple. Just search on Google ChroPath and open the home page, this autonomic.io/ChroPath, and there you will see all the browser all the download links for different browsers. 6.0 currently this feature is available on 6.0, which is available on Chrome and Chrome and Edge. We are working to very soon we'll launch for Firefox. 6.0 version will launch for Firefox and Opera. Here are some okay, before that we can take few questions, like if you have any questions. So I'm just looking at the chat right now, if anybody has sent any question. So on this feature, like if you have any question, you can ping on chat. We'll hold for 1 minute, then we'll continue the session.
You can right away unmute your microphone and ask the questions. And after asking the question, you can mute your microphone.
Okay, Sanjay, Gaurav here.
Hi, Gaurav. Yeah.
Okay, so I have one question. Like, if suppose I uncheck the ID or the name or the class.
Yes.
Okay, so still the generated expert is unique.
Yes. So like if you uncheck this ID, so basically whatever XPath it will generate, it will always be unique. Always the XPath will be unique always. So at any point of time, if you want to verify how you can do that, just turn off this command. You see that XPath is here. That's why we have given all these features. So you click on this edit icon. You see, okay, once again, let me uncheck this ID. Let's say you ask without ID. Let's inspect this element. You see that it has generated without ID. Now, if you want to verify that whether this XPath is unique or not, click on this edit icon, hit enter. One second. 1 minute. Here you see that one matching node it is. So it will tell you that this is one matching node or not. Again, you can come back and you see here. So yes, it will show you. And it will be always unique. It will be always unique.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any more question? I guess it will be better idea if you guys, if you have any question, you type on this chat window, because there are so many people. If everybody unmute at a time, then there will be like problem. And it for like it will, if it will be written, like others can refer those questions later.
One quick question here, Sanjay.
Yeah.
So currently we can write down @findby and XPath equal to XPath value.
Yes.
So is there any chance that I can write @findby ID equal to, in double quotes, ID value?
Okay, so no, currently it is supporting only for XPath, this feature here in page object model. But we are working on something so that like later in future, like if any kind of locators you want, you can generate with them. So yes, we are on it, but currently it is for XPath only, because XPath is like very much used, and when if we will like give ID is something like which is not available for all the locators, all the elements. So whatever is unique, for that we thought like okay, and we can't ask user to enter like multiple commands, like for one element it is ID, for one element it is XPath, for one element you want to use CSS selector. So the problem there it will come that like every time you will have to update the command, right? Like let's say for this element you want ID, so again you will have to update this command like ID value, because here we can't have these like multiple boxes here, right? So that's why we choose, this is one region I'm just explaining this, why XPath has been given over here, but definitely we are working on it. That's a good suggestion from your side, because ID is always good to use. But other side is like, why XPath here is that we can't have multiple boxes here over here, and ID or any other locator is not possible for every element. XPath is the one selector which is possible for all element on the websites. So to help on that, like how can we have the ID, that's why we have make all these fields editable. Like at any point of time you want this as an ID, so in place of editing here, what you can do here, you replace this by XPath can be made as ID, and here we have given this option, so these fields are editable, and you just replace everything here, and there
And
you
people
go.
are asking, what about CSS? So I guess CSS
Yes,
is
same.
also not supported.
Yes, same question. So it is currently here in the recording, only XPath is there in recording.
So hope to see at least CSS feature in the next coming version.
Yes, CSS selectors we will be doing very soon. Yeah, that will be there. Inspect elements. Okay, so I hope, Avinash, I answered the questions. Any doubt or anything you want to discuss on that?
Yes, it answered.
Oh, thank you.
Sanjay, at the starting, you do some steps. Do you have any documents so we can do it?
Yes. Everything is there. So that's why I asked you here on this page. One second. Sorry. Let me close this. Here, this on the ChroPath homepage, all the tutorials, all the documentation, if you scroll, everything is here. And you see that all feature details documentation is here. So at any point of time, if you have any doubt, you come here and you can refer here. You can also reach out to me anytime. Next, I'm reading this question from Pritesh Muli. Inspect elements, the first step, inspect
Yeah,
elements.
I also put that question.
Sorry?
Because I'm doing some steps that you have done at the starting of the session, but I'm getting this error to get the all elements XPath in with the find by. Hello.
I guess he might be getting some error, Sanjay, while writing the XPath. So don't worry, Pritesh, I will solve your problems after this session. Or you can afterward directly connect to Sanjay on the LinkedIn or Facebook. He can help you out. Sanjay? Can you hear us, Sanjay?
Here and explain all those things. So see, friends, that was a very advanced feature which I showed you. Will cover all the basic features here. Let me explain you here the command which we have given here. This one, add, find by, and whatever we use this command. This command is it can be anything. Like this command could be anything. If you are using a page object model or you are writing in Python, Ruby, so it could be anything. Just replace the XPath with XPath value, and wherever you are writing any keyword for your XPath, just replace that with the keyword. That's all you have to do. For example, when I was writing my automation script in my previous company, so this was a kind of framework I was using. So where this was my command here on XPath. So what you have to do, let's say you have this kind of framework. So what you have to do, wherever you have written XPath, if it is inside double quote, then replace that just replace the XPath and keep those double quotes. Or if it is just XPath, just replace that XPath with XPath value. So this was my command. What I did, I just replaced this with XPath value here. And the keyword, this was the label name for this XPath. So I have replaced this with label value. And you copy this, come back to ChroPath, paste it here. Now you inspect these elements and it will generate for you everything. Okay, and you can copy, you can also download, export it in XLS in your local, so that all those features are available here. So this was pretty much advanced. So here in this, like when you record multiple XPath, multiple selectors command, only XPath currently supporting in this. We'll be coming up with more advanced like in for other selectors as well in future. Now coming back to the home screen. Yes, in the home screen, what you have to do, if you inspect any element, ChroPath will suggest you all the possible selectors for any element. So for this element, for example, there are these many selectors possible, like relative XPath is this. If you check ID, so it will generate with ID, relative XPath, ID, class name, CSS selector, absolute XPath, tag name. You can just scroll here, it will show you all the possible selectors. So yes, it generate all the possible selectors. So there were people like asking questions, why can't we use like other selectors? So because this is a link text, you must be having this question in mind, why can't we use the link text? Here ChroPath immediately suggests you that you can't use the link, don't use the link text, partial link text, because there are two occurrences of this, and you go with this one which has the one occurrence. Okay, and you will have, ChroPath will also give you, show you this alert icon. What it means, it is smart and intelligent enough that it suggests you that this XPath which is generated here, if it has dynamic ID or class. So if you mouse over on this, it will tell you that ID looks dynamic, uncheck the ID. So why it is looking ID dynamic? Because it has the alphanumeric value, and there is no concept or there is no algorithm which can tell us that ABC123 is dynamic value or ABC123 is static value, because ABC123, it could be static for me, but it could be dynamic for you. Like my PAN number is static for me, looks like whatever ABC123 is my PAN card number. It is static for me, but it is dynamic for you, right? So there's no logic, no concept there which can tell us. So we assume that if some value is alphanumeric, that could be dynamic. So that's why it is saying it could be dynamic. Uncheck this and it will generate without ID. Now it's still highlighting class. So class value also, it is dynamic, like looks like alphanumeric, which could change like when you will refresh the page. But if you are sure that ID is static for me, then I will use, because you know your application better. So you know that ID is dynamic or static, so you will go with that. So like I know that this value, this ID value is static for me. So what I will do, I will use this ID. So these are the attributes, options, and all these selectors it gives. Let me show you a few more examples on this. Let's say, let me open Amazon. Here you inspect anything. You see this class name, there are 14 class names, so we can't use this class name. Like people immediately say, okay, we can use this class, can we use this class? So no, you can't use, we can't use CSS selector, link text. So yes, link text we can use here. There's only one link text computers, only one computer has been written in this page. So yes, so whatever possible it is showing in green, and what can't be used, so there it's showing in alert color. Now if you have something like any attribute, because there are some people who has the like there are companies who have, where people has the data attributes like QAID or some kind of attribute with which you want to generate your XPath here. So what you can do, let's say you want to generate your XPath with here some element, let's say take some elements which has some random kinds of attribute. Let's say you want to generate XPath with role attribute here. So what you do, you just pass the role here and hit enter. It will generate the XPath with your attribute, you see. So now when next time when you will inspect other element, it will first give the preference to your attribute, and then if it is available, not available, then it will try with other attribute. And if you want to, if it is there, role will be there, then it will generate relative XPath with that attribute. So this is how it generate the selectors here. And it also, you know, like two ways to generate these selectors. Either you inspect the elements or you click on DOM node here. It has pretty much good features, like for some, it gives you very proper error message. Like if some element, for some element which you inspected, selectors can't be written. So like this is a script tag, and for a script tag there is no need to write XPath, right? Because there is no UI element. So it gives you that what all possible things are there. Like as a developer, how it helps you, it will tell you like 120 times a script tag has been used in your page. So this tells you all those steps, all those things. And if something is comment, it will tell you like this is a comment. Like suppose I'm a beginner and I don't know about these selectors and the reading about DOM. So you can learn a lot from this CROPATH, because once you will get the error, you will read the proper error message, then you will learn more and understand better about the DOM. So yes, it helps you. So this is a comment, and selectors can't be generated for comment. So this helps you to understand what is this, why can't we write selector for it. So similarly, like you see, if there sometimes there are element like pseudo elements, for them as well we can't write the XPath, we can't write the selector. So for them also it will tell you that these are the pseudo element, we can't write the XPath, let's say colon before. And someone who is new to the DOM, they might not be knowing about like what it is, and when they inspect they see, oh my god, why can't I write the XPath for this? So this is the region, this is a pseudo element, and selectors can't be generated for pseudo element. So you got to know that this. Then there are some elements like SVG elements. So I'm not sure if how many of you know that for SVG elements like this, you know, even if you inspect this element, let's say right click, and you know from DevTools as well, Chrome DevTools also gives the selectors. So you have this copy XPath, copy selector. So let me copy this, copy XPath, and you command F and paste this. You see that 0 of 0 it is showing. Even Chrome DevTools doesn't give you the XPath for SVG element, but CROPATH gives you. This is the like smartness and intelligence of CROPATH, and uniqueness of CROPATH, what it helps you. You see that it is giving you XPath for this element as well, unique relative XPath, absolute XPath. Even for the child elements as well, it gives you the relative XPath, which you can directly use in your script. And I'm sure like many people doesn't know how to like it's tough like initially for the beginners, because there are some other syntax and stuff that is used to write this XPath for relative XPath for SVG elements. So for the beginners it's tough to understand like how to write these. So it helps them to understand and learn how they can write the XPath for the SVG element, how they can generate it. And like as soon as you inspect element, it also highlight those element in green dashed outline for the first matching node. If you hover here, it will turn into that red line. And if it is somewhere hidden and you scroll, hover on this element, it will scroll that element into the viewable area. So yes, so these are like features for the selectors. Any questions so far on this? I will be looking at the chat for now sometime. Avinash, anyone have any question?
I'm not able to see any question in the chat so far.
Okay, Sanjay, one quick question. So,
Yes.
so are you using the Chrome XPath Chrome extension to the AppVM part? So currently we are doing, we are using the POM framework for the AppVM part for the Android and iOS. So,
Okay.
so does it helpful for AppVM part also?
No, currently it's supposed the web application like mobile web and desktop web, not the Android and iOS native apps. It is not supporting currently. We are working on it and hope soon we'll get something for those as well. But currently it is for only for web application, mobile web as well as desktop web. And if you want to use it for mobile web, it's very simple. Just click on this toggle button. So this toggle device toolbar. So your website will open in like mobile website, and if you inspect these elements, it will show you the XPath here. So for mobile web it works, but for not for native apps.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any more question? Okay. So let me show you some more advanced feature and time saver feature here. You know that when you write XPath for iframe elements, so there is nothing like looking at the elements, you get to know that this element is an inside iframe elements, right? So like looking at these elements, do you know that this element is inside iframe? If you inspect this element, let's say first name or this box, you don't get to know that this element is inside iframe. And you will write an XPath for this element, like you will write like this, and then you will just go and use it. But you don't know, it will fail your script because this is an element, you don't know whether this is inside iframe or not, unless your script will not fail and you will try for it, right? Let CrowPath help you. What you do, you just open CrowPath tab here. As soon as you inspect the element, immediately it will give you the relative XPath as for the inspected element, as well as the iframe XPath inside which this element is. So it is gonna save you huge amount of time. Just for single element, it will save at least 15 to 20 minutes. Because like suppose you don't know, you're writing XPath, so what you will do normally, you will write the XPath for this element, you will use it in your script will fail, then you will think why this is failing, though you have written a correct XPath. Then you will search like why script is failing, you will scratch your head, then you will see that, oh my god, this is inside iframe. Then you will write the XPath for iframe as well, then you will run a script. So in this entire thing process, you will at least waste 15 to 20 minutes. But in CrowPath, just in single second, you will get the XPath for the element, for the iframe, and you got to know that this element is inside iframe, so you can use both of them, and it will save a huge amount of time for you. Imagine if you have to write a script for this form, then how much time you will save using this. So that's how it helps a lot with this as well. So this is a very unique feature. No, there's nothing like even looking, right click on this, it doesn't tell you that this element is inside iframe or anything. So it saves you a lot more time. And let me just choose the normal theme, which you all might be having. So it will have this kind of view. So in general, you will see like this. Then then it has a lot more advanced feature, which can save another like hours and days for you. If any question on this iframe feature, iframe, it supports iframe, those are from same source, because iframe, those are from different source, like ads you might be seeing on the website. So it can't support on them because those are from different source, and as per the Chrome policy and the iframe features, we can't inject the script inside the iframe which are from different source. I'm just looking at the chat if anybody has any question so far, or any suggestion, any feedback, if you feel you can suggest. Okay. Let me show you some more advanced and very good feature which can save, which
Sanjay,
are
a
pretty
quick
much.
question. Sorry.
Yes.
There are some frames which are nested. So let's say there is frame inside frame.
Yes.
So in that case, which frame we are going to see? Is it the immediate parent that we are going to see over here, or all of the frames?
Okay. So if there is like nested frame, then it will not give you the XPath of the iframe which are nested. It will give you XPath for only for the inspected element. It can't give you, because then it becomes difficult, like for which iframe it should give, right? So then in that case you will have to identify, because it can't give you all the iframes XPath, like 5-6 XPath. So then it will becomes also you to identify like which one iframe XPath is for which one. So currently it gives you, like let's say it will give you that if there are only one iframe, then it will tell you like this is iframe XPath and this is relative XPath. But if there are like inside iframe, then it will not. Then in that case it won't be able to give. So in here, if you go W3, and there are some example for nested iframes, so you can check that. So in the case of nested iframe, it won't be giving you the iframe XPath. It will be giving the element XPath, but not the IPM XPath.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so moving on, some more good features and advanced feature is that let's say you guys having this kind of framework. Let's say we have this page object model, okay, and my script is failing, but I don't know like for which all XPath it is failing. I'm keep running. So for first time it got failed for this XPath. I fixed this XPath. Then second time when I executed, it got failed for this XPath. Third time I executed, it got failed for this. And it will, let's say fifth time I run, it got failed somewhere here, because wherever it will fail, it will stop executing from there, right? It will waste a lot more time for me to solve that problem. And there is no other way, like let's say you have hundreds of XPath and you want to verify all of them in single shot. So there is no way, right? If I have to verify all these 5 XPath, how we will be doing? Like you will be copying this XPath, come back here, you will be like, either you, if you use CrowPath, then you will be like, okay, let me come here. Then let's say if you will be, like if you have to verify multiple XPath, what you will be doing? Like you will be copying, pasting this, okay, right? So is there a way that we can verify all these XPath? Have you ever imagined, have you ever thought like you can verify hundreds or thousands of XPath just in single go? Yes, now it is possible with autonomic CrowPath. What you have to do, you need not to worry, you need not to do anything. What you do, you just copy this complete script, complete thing. You need not to even segregate any single thing. Let me paste it here somewhere. Open CrowPath. There is a smart maintenance feature here in CrowPath. Click for smart maintenance, click on this. Then there is an edit icon over here. You see that edit icon, click to paste all XPath, click on this. Here you paste your complete script. And now you know that your XPath is written, wherever your XPath is written in this. So just copy that command here. Let's say in this case, this is the only, whatever command is appended on XPath, copy this. This is again, it will be saved for you all the time. Wherever the XPath is written, just replace that XPath with XPath value. Because for your framework, this command is gonna fixed always. So you can use this, like it will be saved in your local, and next time when you will open, it will be there. Now you click on OK. You see that all XPath has been verified in single go. So you see that the matching occurrence of this XPath is 2 on this page, 0, 0, 0, 5. And you see all of them has been fetched from your script. 1. It is so easy for you, right? You can verify and you can fix them, right? Like you want to fix this XPath because it is 2 matching node, you click on this, it will come here, you like whatever you want to do here, you do, and then it will be fixed. Like you want to make it unique, you inspect this, you got this element, that this is the element, you see what you can do here, and you again go back here and replace that XPath, like whatever you did here. And once this is done, again you can append those command on these. So like you turn on this command, let's say you have this driver.find element. Let me just reset this, and you see that those command is appended and you can use them, copy them, and then you can use it. Also, let's say not like this, you have, let's say something like this, okay, and this is your script. Many people use have this kind of script. Copy this complete script and see the magic. Paste it here, and this is the command we are using here, right? Driver.find element by.xpath. This is a very basic command of Selenium users. Driver.find element by.xpath. It could be anything, like you might be using Cypress, Java, Selenium, Python, Ruby, no matter for us. Just replace the XPath with XPath value in the command, and you just click OK. You see all the XPath has been fetched from that script, and it's in single shot. Your all script is verified, and you can fix them and replace it in your script and fix that. So basically the smart maintenance helps you to save like days of time, because everybody, we all have the like bunch of scripts on a, in our project, in a office work, but it becomes like very tough to maintain those scripts, because next day, like if someone is not very good in writing locators, or locators has robust locators has not been written, or the UI changes very frequently, in that case your script maintenance becomes very tough. So for that, it is going to help a lot, and it's gonna save a lot more time. You can export as well. You can delete this, edit this, copy only one selectors, copy all at any point of time. Like if you have like you forgot how to use this feature, there's a smart maintenance tutorial video, so that you can use at any point of time. You want to go back to the default view, click on this again, it will take you to the default view of the page. So crow path, default view of the crow path, so you can come back here, and again if you click, you will go back there. And if you close this, it will go all the things which you have verified, it will be not present there. So next time when you will open, it will open fresh. It will save the local configuration in the local. Okay, I'll be looking at the chat if any question on a smart maintenance. For verification of web element, only XPath is mandatory. So okay, in smart maintenance, it supports only for XPath, because you will be verifying only XPath. And if you want to verify selectors, CSS selectors and XPath, you can verify here. But in smart maintenance, what I showed you, just there is XPath only will be verified, because if it is ID or something, that is not going to verify. So here, if you can verify XPath and CSS selectors both, like let's say, one second. Like here, if you write XPath or you write CSS selectors, let's say li, you have written, this is a CSS selector if you don't know, and like this, if you hashtag ID, so this you can verify here. But here, like in a smart maintenance, it will be giving you only you can verify XPath only, like multiple XPaths. So that is the support we have. I hope I answered the question. I'm looking at the chat now. Thank you, Sushant. Okay, moving on. Very good feature one. Like let's say we are the beginner and we don't know how to write the XPath, good XPath, and we are learning something, or sometimes we are in hurry and we want to maintain our automation script which is already written by someone. And many times it happen, like when people don't know write the good XPath, or if they are like in hurry, or if somebody is in notice period, so what they do, they just copy these kind of XPath from here and use it in the script. One second. Let me go to Amazon better, or LinkedIn completely. So what happened, let me inspect this. So what people do, like they copy these kinds of XPath here. If you see that this XPath pretty much like index is, it is there, ID is there, doesn't look like very robust XPath. And sometimes these kinds of XPath you will see in your script. Many people has written this kind of XPath. And you know what to do now, like how can you make it better? So what you have to do, you just copy and paste in CrowPath and hit enter. CrowPath will suggest you the better relative XPath for this element, whatever XPath is though. You see that this is the CP suggested XPath for this element. And it could be anything, like let's say search some other for some other element, like this XPath, copy this XPath from tab tools, and it has indexes and doesn't look like the static, right, robust unique. And you have inspected something else here, you see, you hit enter, it will give you the best relative XPath for your XPath. So basically, while editor, when you will be using CrowPath, it will give you the better relative XPath for your element, for your XPath. So if you are beginner or you don't know how to write a good selectors, good XPath, CrowPath will give you, CrowPath will suggest you the good relative XPath for those, for your XPath. Or suppose like if someone, you are in interview or somewhere, like you are in hurry, somebody asks you like, can you tell me like the first link on this page, XPath for the first link on this page. What you have to do, /A, what you do here, /A, hit enter. It will give you the, this is the XPath, CP suggested XPath for the first matching node of your selector. So it is giving you XPath for your first matching node. So basically this is the XPath for the first link on this page. Let's say you want to search for how many headings used in this page. So this is 2 headings has been used. This is the first matching node, first heading XPath. So that's how it helps a lot in like many scenarios. Okay, any question on this feature? And these are pretty much unique features, unique innovations. You will never see or you will never found them. Can we use no XPath access? Can we XPath access? Can we XPath access? So are you asking, can we use XPath access or can we get XPath access? So currently it doesn't generate XPath with the access. But if you have written XPath with access and you want to verify that, you can use it. Or if you have any XPath, Sahili, could you please paste it here? Okay. So okay, so I hope I answered the question. It doesn't generate the XPath with access. If you have XPath with access, that you can verify. And if you have it doesn't work, or if you have any issue while using them, please let me know offline. I will help you. Or if there will be any issue on CrowPath, we will happy to fix them. Because yes, there could be issue. There could be some issue, or it might be working fine. Moving on. Now we always talk like we always talk about like writing automation, right, from the manual for the manual test cases. But have you guys ever thought like who is writing the manual test cases? What like who is taking that pain? Like everybody is talking, I'm an automation engineer, I'm writing automation script. We used to automate the manual test cases, but who write the manual test cases? Who is taking that pain? Right, sometimes we have to take that pain. Sometimes our manager used to write, sometimes our business analyst used to write, sometimes our testers used to write the test cases, sometimes developers used to write, and we used to waste a hell lot of time while writing those manual English test cases. Sometimes we call them English test cases, basically steps. And there are some scenarios like we used to waste a lot more time, like suppose I'm a developer. If from a developer perspective, if I'm a developer, before giving a build, let's say I have introduced a feature here in I have developed buy a product feature on Amazon. So before giving it for testing, I definitely, as a developer, I will do a basic functionality testing, right? Like I will search, click on this. Okay, nothing is available right now. Let me search for something which is available. Yes, this I can buy. So this is like I will be clicking, and so basically we will be doing at least one round of basic testing before it giving any build for testing. So that's what we do, developer. But when we will be giving it for testing, we will be explaining this feature like this. These are the steps to the tester, that these are the steps you have to test it. And when tester will go back to the desk, he will do the testing for this feature. but what he will do, definitely he will miss some or other step, and he will come back to the developer. Tester will come back to the developer and saying that this is the bug. Then developer had to explain again that no, this is not the bug, you have missed these steps. And it happens a lot more time. It happens with me and with everyone thousands of times. Many times we comes with invalid bug. So this is one scenario. We waste a lot more time while fighting each other, developers and testers. Then there are scenarios like where testers got the actual bug. But what happened, suppose that is a corner scenario, and to reproduce that bug, again, we as a tester have to waste a lot more time to reproduce that bug. If there are like 10-15 steps, we won't be remember like all those steps, how we have got to that bug. So we have to reproduce that. To reproduce that bug, we again think like what I did, where I clicked, and you forgot something. Then again, a lot of time waste is there, right? And if any bug comes in production, we hardly have the proof like we have tested. We as a tester used to say no, we have tested. Developers will say no, you haven't tested this feature, and that's how we got this bug in production. So there is like lot many gap. And in reality we don't write the manual test cases, let me tell you. So for that, keeping those things in mind, we have invented CrowPath Studio, which has automated the manual test case writing. Let me show you how. What you do here in CrowPath, there's a CrowPath Studio icon here. You click on this. You can also open it from CrowPath tab. So you see that this window is open now. That's all you have to do. Now, if I'm a developer or a tester, I will keep performing my testing. So let's say on Amazon, I want to test the buy a product flow. I will search for tea. You see that it is showing here. I will click on this. I will click on add to cart, click on proceed to buy, and then click on deliver to at this address and etc. We'll see that what all things happen here. You see everything has been recorded here. Like first step is open website, so this will open. Enter search. What we entered in the search box, T we entered, then we press enter, then we click on that whatever was that name of that tea. So you see that you will see the complete name of tea here, and then we click on the proceed to buy. This test steps, English test steps has been recorded. Now, if you are a developer, you want to give your build for testing to the tester, what you do, you just save this, or you just click on this copy all steps and paste that guy on chat. Like, look, you have to follow these steps to test the website. And what you do, you just share this sheet, this test case sheet with the with the tester, and he can test this. We can follow these steps. So now you need not to waste time while explaining him what he has to test. Or if you are a tester, you can give it to the developer that these are the steps to reproduce the issue. So you need not to explain to him as well. If you are an automation test engineer, you got the command as well here. You see that all the XPath and everything, you got it here. So as a like automation engineer, you got this here. You need not to worry. You got the command, XPath, everything is ready. So you can complete the automation script as well. So everything is ready for you. Nothing you have to waste the time over there. Everything you got. It is gonna save a lot more time, and those things like we used to keep fighting with each other because we don't have proof when any bug or anything comes in production. So lot more savior here. And if this command is again editable, you can generate you just turn off these attributes, like whichever with like you don't want to generate with ID. Make sure you check your preferences before generating this. And this is dynamic, like at any point of time you turn off this command, so you will be getting the XPath only, or like if you want with command, you can turn on this command, and this command you can configure as per your framework. Then if you missed any steps while editing here, Like you want to add some wait time here, so you can add wait time options, or if you want to add any assert statement that you can add here, like wait for 5 seconds something. So those steps you can add here if you want. So those options are here. And like at any point of time you want to delete any steps, so those things are here. You can delete it. You can delete all steps from here. You can pause this, like if you don't want to record, you can click on pause. It will not record your steps when you will click on this now, so it will not record your steps as well. So, and again, if you want to record, you just click on this and it will start recording them. Then at any point of time you forgot like how to use this Croppath Studio, you have this Croppath Studio tutorial icon here. You click on this, it will show you the tutorial, video tutorial. We have added all the video tutorial, see here. And yes, and this you can open like from here, Croppath Studio from here, as well as from from this dev tools. Like from the Croppath tab, you click on this, it will open the Croppath Studio. Okay, I will be looking at the questions now. Does this feature capture screenshots? No, currently, Shashank, it is not capturing the screenshots. So in the next review, you will see this feature. Thank you. We are working on it. Any question on this Croppath Studio? Or so far, any questions? No, like we are open to all the questions or anything here in Croppath tab or in Croppath Studio Smart Maintenance. Avinash, do you have any question, or anyone have any question? Any suggestion?
I don't have any questions so far.
Thank you.
Well,
Is this feature? Okay.
Will it handle pop-ups also, alerts and pop-ups?
Okay, so if there are any pop-up, yes, if those are the part of DOM, it will yes, it will support. Like it used to, like you might have noticed this, that we have searched for T and we clicked on this T and it got opened in new window, it recorded. And when we start adding this also captured. So yes, like for the next window, new tab and new window, it will record those. So yes, you can try them. And if you face any issue, or if it doesn't work for your website, please let me know. I will be happy to fix those issues.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm reading this question from Pooja. Is this feature will work for Windows application? No, Pooja, this is completely for web application. Croppath is for web applications. So whichever application or website, like if you are able to open on this browser, it will support for them, but not for the web applications. How to use verify option? Verify option. Verify option. Okay, so like you can add your assert statement here. So basically, like when this will not verify, but if you want to add a step here, like you want to tell your tester, or you want to tell your developer or your automation testers, like verify that login button is there or not. So this is basically like to make your test case complete. So that you can add here, those statement, verify login button is there in the page. So that you can add manually. So that's why we have this plus, but add steps option there. Like you want to wait for some time. So that is the verify. Thank you. Thank you, Nisha.
So can we import this Excel file generated in the
yes.
HPQC or maybe test?
Yes. Like once you downloaded this file, XLS file, you can, I mean, wherever you want to export, or you want to do wherever you want to do, you can do that. Yeah. Like you can open this file, or I always prefer, like there is a better option I would suggest. like in place of downloading, like having a number of files in system, like if we are using a test management tool or something, it's we have provided a very good option here. Click to copy all steps. So you click on this and directly like if you want to save, that's a good option. We have that XLS export option. You paste these steps in your like wherever test management tool, or you want to share the test steps with anyone, you can directly click on copy option, click on all command. If you are a developer, automation developer, that you can do. So easy things has been provided. But yes, XLS export option is everywhere. Reading this question from Snehal, is it finding XPath for hidden elements too? Yes, it will find the element for the all the elements. So when you are asking these questions, let me tell you what kind of question this is for everyone. This is something like for calendar, right? So first what we will have to do, we will have to make those elements visible, something like here in this calendar. So if you are able to inspect that element, basically that element should be available in DOM. So first you will have to make that element visible some way, like you can like in calendar, you see that calendar was hidden over here. Calendar is hidden, so currently it is not. So how you inspect that? Like you inspect this. Now you inspect this element. First open that and then inspect. It will generate the XPath. Let me open the CROPAT tab here. You will see that it will generate the XPath for that. So when you are using CROPAT, it is exactly same how you write the automation script. So in while writing automation script, what actions we would have performed to click on this date? First we would have clicked on this departure, then we would have clicked on this, right? So similar thing you have to do. First you have to open the calendar and then inspect that element, then it will show. So yes, it used to generate. If that DOM is available for any element, it will generate the XPath. I hope I answered your question. If you have any doubt or anything, you guys can reach out to me anytime. Ganesh, it will also support the previous version of browser. I mean, like it doesn't not matter which browser version we are using, it will support previous browser version too. Yes, Ganesh, it will support. It will support. If you face any challenge, reach out to me. Is CROPAT available for Firefox? Yes, Shashank, CROPAT is available for Firefox as well. Just this latest version what I'm showing is not available on Firefox currently. The previous version 5.0 is available, so you can watch the tutorial here, and everything is there. In for Firefox it is available. You can see it is available for Firefox, and that has pretty much awesome features. Is it good practice to find XPath our own or use CROPAT? Is company allowed to use it? Yes, company will allow to use it. It's a like developer tool, so it means it totally depends on you. Now, is it good practice to find XPath our own? Yes, it is always good to use your own XPath, or like you got it from XPath. So you see, or you got it from CROPAT. Basically, whenever any software is invented or any tool is invented, the only purpose is to save the time. And it is not mandatory that you have to use the XPath which you got it from CROPAT. You also have this option like editing option. So rather than wasting your time over here in this small window here, let's say for example you go on any website, let's say you are on Myntra and you have written your script and your script is failing for something, let's say /h3, and this is the XPath for which your script is failing. Now, if you're not using CROPAT and you're using the dev tools here, so this is again a tool basically, and you see that H3 for /h3, there are 4 matching nodes, but you don't know which all 4 matching nodes are there and which is that element in the UI. And if you hit enter for a second, it will highlight and it go away. You don't know which all 4. So how tough it is for you to maintain or you debugging your script, right? You come here in CROPAT, same thing you do here /h3, Sorry, I don't know how I got disconnected. Avinash, am I audible?
Yes, Sanjay.
Okay, so I was explaining that editor feature. So you can use that as an editor as well. And sometimes like it becomes tough to write like uh, tough to write these selectors for many elements you will find. And like in case of framework, like if you're writing your XPath for frameworks element and you don't know, like you're wasting like half hour, 1 hour, 2 hour times just to find out the iframe. So it doesn't make any sense to waste that much time if something has been automated. Imagine, let me put this question in this way. We all use the IntelliJ Eclipse to write the code. Avinash, could you please paste those questions again on the chat, because I'm not able to see those questions. It's clear for me.
Sanjay, it's clear for me too,
Oh my God.
because the session was resetted, I guess.
Okay.
So can you guys please ask your question once again?
Yes, those like left at the last, they can paste again. So I was explaining like to use any tool. Yes, it totally is up to you, like whether you want to. First thing is that we should have those skills, but otherwise, and the second thing, we should know how to use any tool at what point of time we should use. Like if I'm good at writing XPath, I will be using something which can save my time. Like we all are writing codes on IntelliJ Eclipse, right? But why we are, imagine at that time when Notepad was there, when IntelliJ was not there, we were writing code on Notepad and other stuff, and then these IntelliJ Eclipse come. Now if someone say that we will forget those skills, writing skills of code, we should not use IntelliJ and Eclipse and those kind of editor which suggest the code automatically, then we are not growing, we are not doing the right thing. So if something has been uh, automated, then definitely we should use those things, and we should learn something new to enhance our skill, and that's how we are growing. If somebody asks me like we should not use vehicle because we will forget walking, we will forget like running on the road. If I will start running walking to the Pune with like thinking that if I will use train or flight or vehicle, then I will forget walking. So that doesn't make sense. So we should always know some skills, we should learn skills, but at the same time we should know like how can we do it smartly. I'm just waiting for the questions. Okay, so Bhushan, the browsers which are open from the automation script, they will never have the extension by default. There is a piece of code, like you will have to add that piece of code, you will have to write the script to open the extension in the window which is open through a script. So that you will have to follow. No extension. So basically the browser which you open from automation script, that is something like incognito window you used to open, very fresh window that doesn't have add-ons and other stuff. You will have to write a separate code for that to open the browser with the extensions, so that you can write. It is a very small piece of code that you can Google and you can use it. Okay, any more question or any suggestion? Does it automatically detects new window launched? Okay, so for CrowPath Studio, it will understand like wherever you will click, if CrowPath Studio is open, it will record those steps, and whichever elements you will inspect, it will detect. But what does it mean? Like, does it automatically detects new window launched? So it will not tell you that it is launched something new window. That it will not tell you. It will just record those steps.
Hi, this is Mohsen. I have a question. Like
Yes.
I have 3 questions in total.
Yeah, sure.
Like when you're having that smart tool where you're pasting that script, so it's giving you the results like how many elements are identified by your script's XPath, means how many XPaths are correct. So
Yes,
in
yes.
between, if you're having like switching to a new window, or
Okay.
if you're having like action items,
Okay.
like action class items like JavaScript
Yes, yes.
executor item.
Yes, yes.
Will that identify, or will that XPaths be identified in this CROPath Studio or
Okay.
CROPath?
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you for explanation, Motion. So basically, like when you are using this smart maintenance feature to verify all your XPath, what you have to do, you will have to land on that page first. You will have to, let's say I'm verifying XPath, I have to verify XPath for this page. So first you will have to come on that page, like you will have to open that page, then only you will verify. So it is like page wise. So if you want to verify this page locators, I want to verify this page locators, home page locators. So then I will have to go to home page and then I copy and paste it here. And if I have to verify some other page locators, then I will have to go to that page and then I can paste that. So basically it is page wise. You will have to go to that page and then you can verify.
Okay, one more question.
Yes,
Is
yes.
this restricted to particular language, or you are only developed for English?
Okay, so your DOM is always in English, right? This is always, so basically here it is like text will be, text could be in any language, but this DOM, like a tag, will be in English only, right? So yes, it will support all of them. If you face any issue, you can reach out to me. It will support everything. So because this DOM, you will see, like if you're writing in Chinese or something, then also div will be div. Only the text will be different, right? That text contains on this tag, like this will be different, this products will be different in Chinese language, but rest of the thing like this href item prop, this will be in English only always, right? So yes, it will work. If it doesn't work, in any case, if it is failing, please reach out to me. I will be happy to fix those problems.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, is it possible to find the XPath for the pop-up window using CROPath? Yes, Yogita. If that pop-up has the DOM here, you can verify, it will generate. I guess on Flipkart that opens as a pop-up. Let me show you. The login window used to open as a pop-up. Okay, if this opens, okay, it doesn't open. Yeah, so this is something like pop-up. There could be like multiple types of pop-up. If that pop-up is available in the DOM, yes, it will generate them. It will generate the XPath for them. God. So here you can inspect this login button and it will generate this XPath. So yes, you see that it is generating. Any more questions, friends? Here are some of the achievements of CROPath. Like it is being used in more than 180 countries. It appears as a desired skills in people's resume from the company, like almost big companies. Highest rated tool in its category, more than 600 5-star rating, almost 5-star rating. And engineers, automation engineers calls it lifesaver. You see, like almost every company use it across the globe. I will be like, we didn't get a chance. Like last year, I have hosted a meetup in Pune, and there were like more than 200 people registered and came, and it was really good response from Pune we got. And this time also we planned for 21st of March. VTest was sponsoring the event, but unfortunately because of Corona, we couldn't host that, and we hosted that, made that online. So I will be here in this StepIn conference. Currently the dates has been changed now, but whenever it will be happening, I will be traveling to Pune. So hope to see you guys face to face, and you can join this and you can attend these conferences. I will be there if you will be having any question. Hope to meet you guys. All thanks to Avinash for arranging this session and hosting this event, and I hope like it will help you all a lot. With that, thank you so much. here is my Twitter handle and LinkedIn ID. You can reach out to me anytime. If you have any feedback, any question, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I will be happy to help you. If any question, any suggestion left, which you feel like you need to discuss more, you can reach out to me anytime. And I would request you all, like, don't forget to like share about this webinar and the tool. And you I would request you everyone, please add your review here, so that like others, like many of you were not aware about this tool, though it is there in the market from last 3 years and free to use, available for everyone. So you can just, please, I would request everyone, please share about share ChroPath in your network, in LinkedIn or Twitter, wherever possible, so that others get to know about tool. Imagine like how much time you could have saved from last 3 years, which you have wasted in this. So I would request, please add your review, give whatever rating you feel for this tool, and yes, it is there for everyone. Thank you so much.
Sanjay, can you share this review link so that people can right away mark their reviews?
Yes, please.
So I urge everybody to please write down your valuable reviews, feedbacks, whatever you have, and 5-star rating would be obviously appreciated. And thank you, Sanjay, for joining this session, and thank you folks for the joining this session. So I'll once the recording is done, I'll be sharing this recording through the YouTube. So we have a channel on YouTube called as Testing Shastra. You can search that channel over there, and shortly I will upload this video. So keep it subscribed so that you can have the recording of this video.
Yes, yeah, here's the channel, guys. So you can see at the window, you can subscribe to this channel, and definitely you will get a lot more, already lot more very important and useful videos are there. So please subscribe to Testing Shastra channel, and you will get a lot more information over here. Amazing stuff is there.
YouTube पे ज्यादा का वीडियो देखा तो यानी पैसा मिले ना, सब्सक्रिप्शन
पैसा नहीं मिलता.
Good question. Sanjay, do you have any YouTube channel or the?
Yes. I do have like when you search for ChroPath, so we have added all those videos. So yes, it is there. Like all these videos are available about ChroPath in my channel. So yes, it is there. You can subscribe and like you can see all those video tutorials, and I used to keep uploading them. So you will get all those features and use cases, basically, because sometimes people don't get to know like what all use cases are there and how they can make the best use of ChroPath, which can save hours for them. So yes, because many people feel that this is just an XPath tool, but it is not just an XPath tool. It is a lot more than that. And means you can learn a lot, DOM, structure, selectors, and everything, and saves too much time.
So anyone have any questions? I guess not. So okay. Thank you, Sanjay, for joining. And I really appreciate the work that you are doing. And we all hope that someday ChroPath will grow even bigger and it will save more life. Okay, and it will really be emerging as a life savior for each and every one of us, those who have joined the session today. So thank you, Sanjay, for joining, and all the best for your bright future.
Thank you so much, Avinash. Thank you everyone. Have a good day. Stay home, stay safe. Hope we'll soon. And once this corona things will end up, definitely we'll host a meetup in Pune, and we'll meet all of you face to face.
Sure, probably we'll meet at Testing Shastra itself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Looking forward. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe. Stay home.